7th of April 2024. The Mail on Sunday, the Irish version. An English commentator wrote underneath one of my videos that in England the Mail is seen as a failure. It's seen as a left-wing Labour paper. What I can tell you, in Ireland, it's the only paper that will print anything critical of government. In any event, it talks here about Leo Varadkar or Taoiseach and Simon Coveney and the golden handshakes they're getting. Now, I know it's saying a bit much, but if I had my way, we'd have an amendment to the Constitution on cutting the pay of former politicians. I'd take a big lump of their pensions off them. The first one I'd hit is Enda Kenny and Mayo. Now, whether that's constitutionally all right, I don't know. I think if you got it put through the Constitution and had a referendum on it, you might be able to do it. They had one on judges' pay, don't forget. Be nice to take half of everything Enda Kenny gets off him. Very nice. It'd be nice to take half of everything Leo Varadkar's due to get off him and half of everything Simon Coveney is due to get off him. Now, whether you'd go back as far as Bertie Ahern and for Fianna Fáil, we'll park that for the moment. But if you turn over by the Mail and just look at it, how much they love themselves, because I'm worth it. These woke, cultural Marxist, mass migration, destructive idiots with destroying the country without green baloney and can't build a children's hospital. This is it, folks. It's worth paying for the paper to look at it. It is sick. It is sick for Varadkar. He's getting, now we'll just go through them. He's getting 1.81 million. Richard Bruton, 2.69 billion, his pension pot. Charlie Flanagan, 1.8 million. It's million now in all these cases, if I said billion wrong. Fergus O'Dowd, 1.9 million. Brendan Griffin, 684,000. Michael Creed, 946,000. Do we ever think of this when we go into the ballot box? David Staunton, 1.33 million. Leo Varadkar, 1.81, as I said. Josepha Madigan, 761,000. Joe McHugh, 1.08 million. Kieran Curran, 971 million. Paul Kehoe, age 51, 1.41 million. Paul Phelan, age 45, 848,000. And Owen Murphy, 560,000. Now, we have to, of course, be fair about it, and the total value there is 17.56 million. That if you take an ordinary person on a non-contributory pension, if you added it up, what it take to pay that, it's quite a lot of money too. So we have to be realistic about it. Now, the next thing we're going to look at here is trying to see how, if the traditional voters decide to abandon the political parties, what's going to happen and how do we be in there. And all I can do, and I'm not being big-headed, is influence these things as best we can. But it'll be very hard to get anybody away from the ignorance that is out there, no matter what side they're on. Now, essentially on our side is the Irish Freedom Party, the Independent Ireland Party, and the National Party. And all I can do in any of those is pick the ones which are most likely to attract seats and not be too extreme, so that we will get seats and that our policies will be capable of being implemented. Now, that's not to say that anyone has been proven wrong. I mean, we had Justin Barrett of the National Party saying he'd put all the migrants on boats out down to the sea and run them all back where they came from. And actually, that is the policy of the British government at the moment, and it's partly the policy of the Irish government. Now, so I tied with the Independent Ireland Party and its connection with farming. And I know that there was a great candidate down around Limerick there, Helen O'Sullivan, and she left them for some reason. I also know that Michael Fitzmaurice, whom I had good faith in, will not go along with my view on the SCA directive and the law. After all, these people are seeking to be appointed to make laws, and they won't keep the laws there is, and this could have big consequences. Everything built following the implementation of the SCA directive for all the major industries, town and country planning, that's housing, tourism, transport, agriculture, energy, fisheries, town and country planning, and a few others must have had an SEA, a strategic environmental assessment, and most of them has none. You could even go as far as to say that everything built since then that had government support has to be torn down. And that's a decision of the European Court of Justice. Now, people say that will never happen, but over in Germany, the German government was intending to use money that it had left over after, you know, this thing where you, this here, injection in here, and you know this here, like just get a bit of paper off the table here. You know this. I daren't speak it. But they were going to use that money for their own, put up a whole lot of renewable energy, and the German Supreme Court blocked them. And it wasn't a matter for the European Court of Justice, and they had to stop. It created an emergency. So I would always have a wee look at what the law is, because at the end of the day, if you get an order from the Supreme Court in Dublin and it's signed by a judge, what are you going to do? Are you going to ignore it, or are you not? So anyway, that's the point. I didn't like that about Mick Fitzmaurice. That doesn't mean the whole lot of them are wrong. Now, there's videos there well worth looking at, and unfortunately they don't speak clearly. And I think that one of the things you can say about myself is you can understand me. I have good enough diction. If I get the teeth fixed up, I'll be even better than that. But the thing is, it's very hard to hear them, especially some of those southern accents. It's very hard to hear them. I would exhort everyone in politics to speak real clear, that we can understand what you're saying. Now, the thing is, they've now seconded RTE Kieran Mullooly, and now this to me is something I would not recommend. Why would you be bringing in somebody with, I know Kieran well, and he was with the local papers, but he never got on to me any stages about all the troubles we had, or the windmills or anything else. He hasn't really been a very big player. And I think that what they're doing is they're saying, right, RTE, that's where the power is. We're going to get in there. We're going to have RTE plugging for us. Do they not realise RTE, Radio Television Sheridan, is our enemy? It's our enemy. Right? That'd be like the British government or the EU having Vladimir Putin appointed as its foreign minister. Do they not see that? Mr. Mullooly would need to come forward and show how he differs from the rest of them up in RTE. I am shocked by this decision, and I'd need Mr. Mullooly to come on this channel and we'll debate it with him. Again, I wouldn't hold my breath, but I'm not against Kieran Mullooly so much, but we'll just read it. Former RTE journalist Kieran Mullooly will contest the European elections in the Midlands North West constituency for Independent Ireland. It was confirmed last night. Was there no farmer? Was there no one with a bit of brains somewhere else? The announcement comes after the Irish Mail on Sunday last week revealed that the fledgling party will field 100 candidates in the council elections. That's all right. Best of luck there. I'll probably vote for them, almost certainly. Independent Ireland was formed last year and includes rural-based independent TDs Michael Fitzmaurice, Michael Collins and Richard O'Donoghue. Well, Richard Donoghue and Michael Collins, I have great time for those. Great time for those two people. Now, in fact, it would grieve me a bit to be contesting anything against them. In a statement, Mr. Mullooly said, "For the past 30 years, I've been deeply committed to rural Ireland." Well, he probably has been a bit, through my extensive involvement in a wide range of community development activities in the Midlands and a broadcaster of local national levels. Do you know what? I'm sick of community development. Oh, we give you a grant. Oh, we put a footpath in. Oh, we done this. I'm bloody sick of that. I want him to say, comply with the law, stop the pylons, stop the windmills, stop the data centres. That's what I want to see. Not, oh, if I get in, we'll give a grant to the community centre. I'm sick to the back teeth of buying off communities. And when you look at the Fine Gael brochures locally, oh, we put in this or we put in that. Helen McEntee has a school bigger than it's bigger in Nobber in County Meath than the United Nations Centre in New York. That's what they do, spending our money, but nothing to protect our country from the massive migration and all of that. So that's my point about that. Now, he's committed to Euro, committed. We're all bloody committed. We're all committed. That's nothing, it's not the commitment. It's the commitment to stopping the destruction of our country. You have, when you're in a hole, you stop digging. So, developing initiatives in the Midlands and as a broadcaster at local and national levels. Why does a broadcaster, what the hell has it been an RT or any broadcaster? I have a YouTube channel and I use that to get out there, but I have experience in building things and making things myself, right? These projects focused on disability. Look at this. Bleeding heart, disability. We're not all disabled. We have a good lot of things for that. So it's all disability. Oh, look at bleeding heart. Oh, you know, we have a lot of that. What about saving the country? Tourism. Well, where is he? Did he mention anything about the migrants taking up all the hotels? Sports. Good enough, there has to be sports. I don't think sport is a good way to judge any policy maker. And that was a big problem long ago. Everyone that scored a goal in a county final became a minister. And it didn't really get us any joy. It didn't really help develop industry or anything like that. Recreation. What the hell is that to do with the problems that confront us? Who the hell wants recreation? Have we? Oh, recreation? I don't need any recreation, and neither does anyone else. All my people and people that I know who have young families, bring them out to kick sports and all that. That's grand, but it's not the core issue. Suicide prevention and other issues. Now he's going to stop suicides and other issues. Just a bleeding heart, bloody codology. You can get that from People Before Profit. Luke de Ming, you can get this. Luke de Ming and his cannabis, and it's just bleeding bloody heart. And then building on the climate change. I'm surprised he didn't say that. You see? Now, I have a real appreciation of the challenges facing rural Ireland, and I am putting myself before the electors on June the 7th because I want to play my part in bringing about badly needed, long overdue change. And he hasn't mentioned so far what that is about, right? Mr. Mullooly becomes the latest in a trend of celebrity business person types. We had George Lee, useful as the tits on a bull. George bloody Lee. We had Catherine Sapone. We had Dee Forbes. I'm sick of them. Get to hell off my case. Right? Real appreciation of the challenges of rural Ireland. The challenges of rural Ireland are big, big, massive, unnecessary pylons run the whole way down through Meath, Cavan and Monaghan in defiance of the law, with no assessment for them. Massive wind farms being hosted on communities. I am out at least 20,000 helping communities beat these on the basis of their illegality. The destruction of property values and all of that, right? The attack with data centres, putting farmers out and putting in data centres. I see nothing here on that. Mr. Mullooly, now, this celebrities, freaking celebrities. Well, why don't we put Joe Finnegan down Northern Sound on it? Another woke. For the former jockey Nina Carberry. Mr. Ed. Nina Carberry, oh Jesus, she's this is the one that's going to be dealing with data centres. She won't be in a week. Oh, climate change. Oh, 2 degrees. Stick with the bloody horses. Try and win me something into the race. Former jockey Nina Carberry is running for Fianna Fáil. Katrina Nimurg, who another RT host, is running for Fianna Fáil. Folks, my job is to convince you, the viewers, to have nothing to do with RTE or anything to do with it, for God's sake. Mr. Mullooly worked at RT for 27 years and I'm a farmer for all my life. So what? And can he fix a tractor? Could he put a starter in a tractor? Could he put in a heater plug? That's what really matters. Did he ever build anything? I built a house and built my farm buildings and they're perfect. And I was a project manager locally and everything I built is solid and good and working really well, including all the sewer systems and everything else. Surely that's a bigger point. Since 1990, he retired from the broadcaster in 2021. Well, fair enough. I mean, we all have to work somewhere, and I work for government in my time as well. I don't knock him on working for RT. A man has to feed his family. I want to see what he's going to do. Independent Ireland was formed last November by Limerick County Richard O'Donoghue, a good lad, the best of a fella, and Cork County Michael Collins, best of fellas. No, they'll be getting my number 2 all the time. Both members of the rural independent group in the Dáil. They said many people were frustrated with Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. Frustrated? It's like the fella in the hospital. He wakes up and the doctor comes around. He says, Mr. Smith, I have good news and bad news. What's the good news, bad news? But give me the bad news first. We cut off the wrong leg. We have the wrong leg. And he says, what's the good news? The fella down the road, down to the bed next door, wants to buy your slippers. Or we cut off the wrong leg is the bad news. And the good news is the other one's getting better. Oh, Ginny Macco, can you imagine me getting at these boys? Is it any wonder that they will not let me on RTE? They said many people were frustrated with Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, but didn't want to vote for Sinn Féin. Well, no man has done so much to block Sinn Féin. I tell Sinn Féin, meet me. You are traitors to Ireland and to the flag that you have proposed. So many people died while we didn't agree and while I didn't agree, and I had a suspicion if you ever got your hands on power, it wasn't for the good of the Irish people at all. It was for the good of Timbuktu and Zanzibar and Constantinople. Don't talk to me. Don't bloody talk to me. And claimed independent Ireland would provide an alternative. Ah, yeah. I mean, they're better than any of the rest. No doubt about that. Oh, but what about the Freedom Party and the National Party? Independent TT for Roscommon, Michael Fitzmaurice, joined in February. Speaking to the MOS, Mail on Sunday last week, the turf-cutting advocate and rural campaigner indicated he firmly focused on growing independent Ireland into a political force. Like, I haven't totally distanced myself from independent Ireland. In fact, I think there was some move made to me to become a member. They just need to sit down with me and at least see could we hammer out something. One thing we cannot have is a one-man band where we just go back to what we already had. Everyone should have a say, and even though I mightn't be right in everything, I should be heard. Mr. Fitzmaurice said the party are planning to run up to 100 council candidates across the country. Fair play to you. The best of luck. And I support them, surely, but support our party first, the Freedom Party. Currently, only 20 people, 18 men and 2 women, have declared their candidacy in the party's official account. That's all right. It all takes time. It's a big commitment, not making little of anyone there. But Mr. Fitzmaurice stressed there is a lot more coming. Our intention is up to 100, and there will be 300, and there will be 3 European candidates. Very, very good, very good. You know something? We could get Herman Kelly in and Kieran Mullooly. He should come to me and talk to me. He needs to talk to me. Maybe we could iron out something. I'm hard, but I'm sensible. He specified there will be 12 in Galway City and County and 3 in Roscommon. Up to 14 candidates will run in the Cork City and County political heartland of party leader Michael Collins. Best of a fella. Oh, best of a fella. Mr. Fitzmaurice added, we are talking to a lot of people. There will be candidates in Westmeath, Sligo, Longford. He didn't mention Cavan. But that's for the council. I actually don't know, are we running any candidates for the council here? Do you know, at the recent meeting for the migration in Kingscourt, Sinn Féin councillor Paddy McDonnell and Fianna Fáil councillor Clifford Kelly, both senior politicians, I'm not giving out about them at all. They came and I handed them that. But they said they couldn't even get an answer for how many were expected to come to Cavan and Monaghan from the government. So clearly the Dáil is the place where the power is. He also said the party will stage a series of regional rallies to boost its profile in the countdown to the June and local elections. So that's the story, folks. Maybe it's a good enough choice, but I don't know. It's something says something about having celebrities. I think, if I'm going to stick with the Freedom Party, celebrities will be banned. If you're an RTE journalist, you'll not get in, and we won't let you into the meeting. Keep them out to hell. Out, they kept us out for long enough. That's my view. Comment underneath, folks. Your great comments there. I can't deal with everything that's there. I'll try and deal with it. We'll see you back for something else this 7th of April 2024. Thank you very much. Bye.